Welcome back, everyone, to the Bitcoin Business Bureau. I'm your host, as always, LitecoinLeader. Today, we're talking cryptocurrency basics and what happens when you reach out and do a cryptocurrency consult call. Easy for me to say, that's quite the tongue twister. But what happens when you do a call, schedule an appointment? What do we talk about? What is it about? Now, I'm going to break it down, but I also want to tell a little bit of a story where you're like, there are certain things in life that you think you should know how to do. Should you know how to jump a car? Do you know how to mow a lawn? Do you know how to clean something, cook something, whatever? There's certain things that you feel like you're at a point in life you should know how to do, and you almost feel embarrassed to ask. Like, I don't know how to change my oil, or not many people do that anymore. I don't know how to, here's one. How do I set my clock in my car every 6 months? I can never figure it out. Well, yeah, you should probably know how to do that, but sometimes you have to ask, and there's nothing wrong with asking for help. So I wanted to give a little bit of the insight for people that are wondering what happens on these calls that you keep talking about, these scheduled appointments. You've done hundreds of them now. What happens and what do you talk about? Here's a little bit of the insight of what happens behind the scenes. So to break down a typical 1 hour or actually 50 minutes call, I break it into 5 sections. And each section is roughly 10 minutes for the person that wants to be on the call. And it's usually one person. Sometimes it's a couple. Sometimes it could be a family. I've had most of the calls are on Zoom. I've had, it looks like the Brady Bunch in that call, but not that big of a deal. And I can certainly do group calls. That's a good thing too. I've spoken to wide audiences. The only challenge is if people ask questions, you have to be selective in who you call on, given that nearly an hour can fly by and just like that. So here's what happens. We have 5 sections that I cover, and I'll break down a little bit of each one. But to get the real insight of what goes on, you really have to be on the call, because every call is tailored to the person that's on the other side, because everyone has a different position that they're on their journey through the cryptocurrency world and how they're working their path to financial freedom and getting into this space. So the first segment I talk about is where you're at, and also how to get from the fiat world, the US dollars, into cryptocurrency and back. That's what I talk about. There's multiple paths to do that. There's apps, there's exchanges, there's ATMs, there's all these different things you can use. How do you use them? What are the benefits of each one? But also we talk about like where that person is on the other side of the call, where they're at in life. Do they want to be hands-on? Do they want to learn the ins and outs? Do they want to know what Bitcoin and blockchain and Ethereum and Litecoin are all about? Or do they want to just like, I'd rather just write a check and get my money because the Bitcoin makes a lot of money, and please tell me how to do that. That's fine too. Or you can be anywhere in between those two things. You can do both those things at once. If you're not sure what you want to do, but you want to be in today, it's not a bad outlook at all to write a check and be in Bitcoin and Ethereum and Litecoin. That's fine. Invest very passively, but also take the time, learn from someone who knows about all these other altcoins and can tell you like, here's how you get started. Here's how I did it for the last 4 or 5 years. Here's some things that you can take along your path and slowly learn how to get in, but feel like you're not missing out because you have that other investment you've already made. So that's segment 1 of where that person is in their journey, and also how to get from fiat to crypto and back. Just a quick reminder that nothing in this video is considered financial advice. I am not your financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Seek out your own advice and do your own diligence, do your own research. Now, segment 2. And I'm going to start running through these a little bit deeper because a friend of mine asked me to do these videos. And he was been watching my videos and he's like, I really get this, but there's a level I'm missing. He's like, I need it like, I don't want to call it crypto for dummies, but I need like an entry level understanding. And that's really what what these calls are, like the scheduled appointments are about. And I like talking to new people because it reminds me of how challenging it was to get started back when I started almost 5 years ago now. And it's a little bit different now. It's a little bit easier actually to get involved because back then it was challenging. Not to say it's not challenging now, but there's different challenges, but there's more paths to get started. So we talked about segment one. Segment one is about how to get crypto to fiat, excuse me, US dollars to crypto and back. Segment two talks about exchanges, and that's where you're actually depositing those dollars or crypto and making that crypto or that US dollar, turning that into another cryptocurrency. And how you do that. That could be an exchange like Coinbase. A lot of people are familiar with that one. What are the other exchanges? What are the pluses and minuses of each one? Are there apps you can use? Are they secure? Do you have your money? Is your money protected? And that's when we start to talk about the next segments 3, 4, and 5, where you talk about security. Okay, segment 3. Now that we've talked about segment 1, crypto to fiat and back, segment 2, exchanges, we start to talk about wallets, the difference between wallets and exchanges, and what's the purpose of a wallet. For those of you new to crypto, wallet is a way to store your cryptocurrency asset. Now, the way I'd explain this is that imagine you go to your bank and your bank is closed and your ATM is broken. You have no money at that point. But if you have money in your wallet and you're able to go to the store, and I can go to the store and I can pull out a $20 bill, I can buy something with it. Because I don't need to go to the bank because I've got the money in my wallet. I've got it here. That is the analogy you make with cryptocurrency. If your money's on an exchange and you have to type in a website to go see your assets, those assets are not yours, because if that website is no longer accessible, you can't access that money. Just like if PayPal is down, if Hodlet is down, wherever your Cash App is down and your Bitcoin is still there, it's not your money yet, because it's still, that asset is on that site. And if that app is down, you can't get that money. But if it's in a wallet, you have control over your wallet. You have control over those assets. So we talk about the different kinds of wallets that are out there. We talk about hot wallets and cold wallets, the difference between those two things, what those things mean. A paper wallet, a cool wallet, a treasure, a ledger, all those different flavors of wallets, Exodus, Atomic, Trust, electronic wallets, so many different flavors of wallets, the pluses and minuses of each one, which ones make sense. Can you use a cell phone to store your currency, or should you go get a device like a ledger to store your currency? What do? What do I recommend, and why? That's segment 3 of a call that I often do with like people that are just getting started, and raises lots of questions and starts a lot of mental processes going forward to think about what they're doing in crypto and how they want to get involved, and how much they really want to be hands-on, because now we're starting to get into the nuts and bolts. Okay, we're about a half hour through the 50-minute call. We are now in segment 4, which is talking about moving coins. So now you've purchased crypto, you've bought a cryptocurrency. Let's say you bought Litecoin on an exchange. You move your US dollars into the exchange. You bought your Litecoin, and now you want to put it on a wallet. Now comes the part of how do you move it, and that's where we talk about the complexity or lack of complexity there is in moving cryptocurrency. It's simpler than it used to be, but it's still not that straightforward. I describe it sort of like sending yourself an email where the email address is completely messed up. So the address you see was typically a public key. It could be 30 or 40 letters long, letters, numbers, caps, small letters. You're not going to remember it, but you get the benefit that some of these sites use QR codes. The quick response code, which is like the black and white square you just take a picture of with your phone, and it'll fill in the whole address for you. And what you want to do and how you move those coins by sending and receiving the coins to yourself, to your wallet, and moving a little bit at a time just to make sure you got it right before you move the rest, because sometimes you don't want to send crypto into outer space. And all of us that have been in crypto for a long time have experienced this, and it's not pleasant. But I want to teach people the mistakes you can make too. I'm not infallible. I've made mistakes. Learn from them, invest in yourself, and learn like from my mistakes, and learn. Let me help you so you don't make the same mistakes that I made, and you protect your wealth. So that's segment 4, how to move cryptocurrency. The 5th and final segment that I hopefully no one's their eyes haven't glazed over, they're completely lost at this point, but I check in with everybody every 10 minutes, like, how you doing? How do you like that segment? Are you good with me? You got any questions? But the final 10 minutes, hopefully it's 15 if I've gone at a good pace, is security, because that's the number one thing that has to be addressed, and that's often addressed throughout the conversation. That's why I save it till last. But you have to make sure that you get those things, and it comes up in like things like when you set up a wallet, you have 12 seed words that you need to write down. That's your recovery phrase. So let's say you move your cryptocurrency to a cell phone, and your cell phone loses its mind. Is my money gone? No, it's not, because you have your 12 seed words. You can go get a new phone, download the wallet, type in your seed words, you're recovering the wallet, and your money repopulates. That's the kind of security we're talking about. Also security about, you don't take your wallet out and have it on open Wi-Fi on your cell phone, wandering around Panera or Starbucks or an airport. Those kind of things about security. You never share your private keys. You don't share your passwords. All these things about security that you need to make sure, and it leads to other conversations about what devices do you use? Do you want a laptop? What kind of wallets are you doing and using? And it's a conversation that we have amongst each other. And then it's a thought-provoking conversation that elicits a lot of different responses. And some people are like, yeah, I can't wait. This is great. I learned a lot of this. I learned a lot in this call. Most people just say they learn a lot, and they more than get their money's worth out of the call, which is fantastic. That's the entire goal. Anytime you spend money, you should get at least a value back, and then some, I hope. And that's what my goal is. And then I leave a little bit of time at the end for questions. And sometimes I even give them a little bit of homework. And if they're ready and they really want to be hands-on, I give them a homework assignment to go buy some Litecoin and start moving it around in their wallets to get some practice, get that muscle memory, practice moving coins, doing the security, come back with an email or two, let me know how they're doing. And I follow up with them. I said, all right, when you're ready, when you've got this down, I know your appetite is going to be there to learn more and be involved more. Schedule another appointment whenever you're ready. We can talk again, or subscribe to LitecoinLeader.com and find out what's going on in all these different other coins and how you can get into those. What wallets do you need for these coins? How do I get them? How do I store them? General advice about those coins, because there's over 9,000 projects out there. It's almost impossible for you to figure them out on your own. You need some help. So I'm here to help you buy back some of your time. You leverage my knowledge for you to help you on your path and through crypto and towards financial freedom. So that's the 5 segments. That's what a typical call is like. We talk about crypto to from US dollars to crypto and back. We talk about security. We talk about wallets. We talk about exchanges, and we talk about moving coins. Those 5 major things. You get those 5 things in one call, which can be a lot. And if you cross your fingers and remember to ask, you may even get a recording that we have of our conversations, so you can play it back again, because it's a lot to absorb in one call. But I try to make it a huge value to you so that you walk away and you're like, wow, I'm ready to go. And you are ready to go, but it's crypto 101. It's your entry level, like, I'm ready to get started, and I guarantee you're gonna have questions later, because that's about acceleration of like the first 3 or 4 months for me when I got involved in crypto. And then I was off and running and looking at like, okay, I got to learn about all these other coins and what's going on. How do I get into yield farming? How do I get into DeFi? How do I start earning more money? How do I stake? How do I get a master node? All these other questions that come up, they're unbelievably complicated when you're first starting, but it gets a little simpler the more and more you do. So I hope this insight gives you some idea of why I recommend doing a call, either with myself or other people that are working for, but I'm a little biased. I think I'm pretty good at it. So on LitecoinLeader.com, I have my full calendar available. You can book a time with me. I'm happy to do 1 person, 2 person, 3 persons, whatever makes sense for you. I've done some clients that come back time and time again because they want to learn more each time. So I just want to give some idea of how you get started, what you can learn, how I can help you jumpstart the learning curve and move you in about an hour ahead about 3 or 4 months. So I hope this was helpful to you. I think that I appreciate my friend giving me the feedback that this is a warranted video that really is necessary. And I know that there's a lot of people just entering this space and want to get started and want to know how. So this is one method to do it. So with that said, I'm going to close the drawer on the bureau. I hope to see you on my schedule soon, and I'll talk to you next time.